Okay, we know a bit more about what to put in our story and how to craft it, but now we need to know how to set it all up. Now, as I said earlier, this is not about making a Hollywood blockbuster movie, a massive hero story on your website. This is about making authentic, engaging content. But like anything, there are a few things we can do to make it a bit more professional, a bit more slick, and easier for the audience to digest. When it comes to setting up, it's super easy. You only need a few things, and the more you do it, the quicker and easier it gets. The first thing we're going to talk about is setting up your frame. So you might have noticed that I am not sitting in the center of this video. In fact, as she shuffles, this is what we call the rule of thirds. A lot of photographers, a lot of videographers will talk about the rule of thirds and how to give a more professional effect. The long and short of it is that your camera can be divided into thirds. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the principle is that by just having things off center in one of the other thirds, it makes it more visually dynamic and interesting. We draw the eye to a point of focus. A lot more fashionable way these days is also to be completely on center. This has come from selfies and video calls and conferencing, things like that, is to be directly in the middle of the shot. So I'll leave it up to you. It really depends on what you're trying to give across and what you like and want people to see. When you set up your frame, you really need to think about what are people seeing? What information am I telling? Because it's not just about you, it's about what's in the background. Right now, you will have instantly, as soon as you clicked on this video, made several assumptions about me, about where I am, and what kind of video this is going to be just by looking at the background. And you won't have even noticed that you did it. So this whole frame, what you can see here, there's all the bits and pieces in the background and a little bit of storytelling above me. And it gives you information. It gives you information about who I am and about what we're about to do. So for instance, you know I'm not about to talk about parenting or chemicals, perhaps, because I don't have that kind of a background. So think about that when you're setting up your frame. What can we see? If we're doing a meet the team, for instance, think about the office space. What is the best aesthetic? Now, this isn't about just showing them the best and not the worst bits. I mean, there's a reason why your office is laid out or your shop is the way it is. We always arrange things to be a nice dynamic, a really great aesthetic that tells people a bit more about us. It's the reason why design exists. It's the reason why you probably have different colours. It's the way, again, that we make people feel. So have a think about that framing and what story you're telling. The next thing you can do to make more professional videos is check the stability of your camera. So, really simple this one. A wobbly camera, if you're holding it in your hand, makes for a really distracting piece of content. So the best thing you can do is make sure you stabilize. Also, make sure it's directly pointing at your face. You don't want to be framing the camera down so much, or even up the nose. No one wants to see that. So make sure that you have got yourself fully set on this way. The best thing to do is buy yourself a tripod. You can get them really cheaply and easily online or from any shops. And you can get ones that travel with you, you can get heavy duty ones, or you can get lightweight, cheaper ones. Do bear in mind that, like most things, you get what you pay for. And also always double check your phone or camera. The next thing we're going to look at is making sure that you can be seen. How many times have you been on a video call recently and someone has been in the dark, or they've had a bright light behind them and the camera's adjusted and you just can't really see them that well? Or even maybe they've been under the spotlight and you can see their forehead a lot, their nose, and everything else is in shadow, kind of like an upside down Blair Witch Project image. So we need to think about how we can just get the best out of lighting. The most important thing is make sure we can see you. So any source of natural light is always the best way, but make sure you're facing the natural light. The light needs to sit on your skin so that we can see you. Don't be behind the light, because otherwise we'll just see out the window and not you. You'll go into darkness. If you're looking for a more professional look, that's when we get into something called 3-point lighting. So right now I have a light over here and a light over here. At the moment this light is filling up, so can you see it shining on my hand? And it's just filling up this side of my face. And I have another light over here that is just lighting me up gently. So it's not full on and bleaching me out too much, but it is just highlighting it and accentuating, make it easy to watch. You can kind of see by the direction of the light just behind me here. The third light is actually, well, I'm going to ask you, can you see it? Is it spottable? Because it's just behind me. And the reason why that is by having a light that's coming up here actually gives what we call depth of field. It makes the picture a bit more 3D and dynamic. And all I have down there is a builder's light I got from a hardware store, and I plugged it in and it's just lit up behind me. It's one of those ones that you use for painting. And again, I'm in the UK, it cost me about £20. Easy peasy, you don't need to have too big a technical setup. So the next rule is that you need to be seen, but you also need to be heard. It's a bit like trying to cross the road. So be seen and be heard. And that's where this little guy comes in. So you can see I've pinned him to the front of my jumper. Now usually I'd probably do a bit better work of hiding it and just having it on my collar. This isn't a great top for doing that, but you will notice that people can tuck the wires in and it just keeps it out of the way. Sound, like light, travels in a direct line, so always make sure that your microphone is pointing towards your voice. A lot of mistakes I see is that people have their microphone on and it's pointing that way. You speak this way. So think about that. Sound travels in straight lines, as does light. So you need to be able to capture that. You can get different microphones from different places. You don't have to spend that much money on it, but anything can help a lot better than just using your own phone microphone if you are recording on your phone. A USB condensing mic is brilliant, and you can get directional mics that capture sound all around or just capture directional to you. This is called a lapel mic because it sits on your lapel, and it's really handy if you're just in one place. But bear in mind, it doesn't travel with you. So if you move your head from side to side, then it won't capture the sound as well because sound is directional. At the end of the day, you want to make it really easy for your audience to hear you so they can connect with you. Don't make it difficult. Make sure that the audio is okay and is good. Because if it isn't, we tune off a bit. If it hurts our ears, we think, no. So have a play around. You can always try and borrow someone's bit of equipment and see if it works for you and if you get on with it. The most important thing, of course, is the actual camera. So this is the thing. You might be using your phone and you might be using a professional camera. Either way, you have a lot of options these days. Even most mobile phones have an astonishing range of capabilities. The first thing to check is the settings. A lot of people forget about this. Check the quality that you are filming on. You can film on something that's called, you'll see the numbers, so it might be 720, it might be 1080, and that indicates the quality of the overall picture. You'll even find that a lot of phones actually have what is called 4K. So 4,000. That's amazingly high quality. And I've heard of TV journalists turning up and just using their mobile phone because a 4K camera is something that a professional videographer would use. And you probably have it on your mobile phone and you didn't even realize it. The thing to notice though is, of course, if you're filming on 4K, or the higher the quality, the higher the size of the overall file. So that could cause some problems, and that means you really need to think about how you're delivering that video. So if you're going to email it, it's going to be really hard if it's 65 megabytes. However, if you're going to upload it to somewhere like video or YouTube, or potentially integrate it into your website, you just need to have a think about things like, how quickly will this load? Is there an issue with connectivity? And you've got to find a really great compromise between quality and load rate. Okay, that's it from me. Thanks, guys.